Cole never expected deep space to feel so quiet. He sat alone in the observation room, watching the stars drift by like slow-moving sparks. The ship, Unity 7, moved silently through the edge of explored space, carrying both human and alien crew. It was part of a new peace program between Earth and the Thaurine Empire. Engineers, scientists, and explorers from both sides worked together on this long mission to map unknown space. Cole was a systems engineer, smart, careful, and curious. He didn't speak much unless someone asked him a direct question. He liked machines more than people. Machines followed logic. People didn't, but someone on this ship made him nervous. And it wasn't a machine. Her name was Soraya. She was a Thaurine woman, tall and graceful with smooth silver blue skin and glowing violet eyes. Her voice was soft, and she never seemed angry or loud. Her people were known for their emotional senses. They could read feelings like signals, though not in full detail. Cole didn't mind her presence at first until things began to change. It started after a simple engine test Cole had been assigned to check, a new jump drive system that both human and Thaurine scientists built together. The test was supposed to be safe. A small burst of energy, a reading of space distortion, and done. But when the test fired, something strange happened. A wave of light swept through the room. Cole fell back. Alarms went off. Then silence. The system rebooted within minutes, and everything returned to normal. Cole had a mild headache, but nothing serious. No injuries. No damage to the ship. The crew called it a spike anomaly and moved on. But that night things felt different. Cole dreamed of home-warm lights, the sound of rain, a guitar playing in the background. He hadn't thought about those memories in years. It felt so real he could smell the rain. The next day, Soraya wouldn't look at him. She seemed shaken. Cole asked if she was all right, and she nodded quickly but avoided his eyes. Just a strange night, she said. Over the next few days, odd things kept happening. Whenever Cole felt something strongly like anger over a broken circuit or joy from finishing a tough job, Soraya would react. Once, Cole burned his finger on a hot panel and winced. Across the room, Soraya flinched. Another time, Cole thought about a scary movie he watched years ago. Soraya's breathing grew faster. Her hand gripped the console. She looked around like she was trapped. It wasn't normal. Finally, Cole cornered her during a quiet shift in the mess hall. "What's going on?" he asked softly. "You're not okay, and I think it's my fault." Soraya hesitated, her eyes shining slightly under the dim lights. "I didn't want to tell anyone," she whispered, "but ever since that test, I feel your emotions. Not just general moods, I feel what you feel. When your memories are strong, I live them too. When you imagine something, it's like I'm there with you." Cole blinked. "You feel what I imagine?" She nodded slowly. "Yes, even if it's not real. When you remember something clearly, I taste it, hear it, feel it. Your joy becomes mine. Your fear too." Cole leaned back, stunned. This wasn't just reading emotions. This was deeper. Somehow, the test had connected them in a way science couldn't explain. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" he asked. "Because it's not painful," she said quietly. "It's single quotes addictive." Her voice trembled as she said the last word. "Your mind is full of things I've never known. Laughter and rain, sweet food, dreams of flying. It's beautiful. I crave it. And I don't know how to stop." Cole stayed silent. He didn't know what to say. He never imagined someone would be inside his mind like this, feeling what he felt, living his thoughts. It wasn't something he asked for, but it had happened. "We have to fix this," Cole finally said. "Maybe the doctors—" "I don't want to fix it," Soraya interrupted gently. "I just want to understand it, control it. Maybe even share it. I've never felt so alive." Cole stared at her, the soft glow of the room casting strange shadows. Across her face, her eyes weren't afraid, they were curious. Full of wonder. And for the first time since joining Unity 7, Cole felt something more than just nerves or confusion. He felt responsible. The next morning, Cole didn't go to the engine room like usual. Instead, he stood in the hallway, thinking hard. He kept replaying Soraya's words in his mind. I feel what you imagined. It didn't make sense. Humans and Thalrine had different biology, different brain structures, even with their emotional senses. No Thalrine had ever said they could live someone else's thoughts. Cole walked toward the medbay. He had to talk to someone. Maybe Dr. Kelvin, the ship's main medical officer, could figure out what was wrong, but halfway there, he stopped. Soraya was standing at the far end of the hallway, leaning against the wall, eyes closed. Her breathing was calm, but her hands were clenched. He walked over carefully. Soraya? She opened her eyes and looked at him with a strange expression, like she was in two places at once. You were about to tell someone, she said softly. Cole hesitated. I was, but I stopped. I felt it, she said. Your doubt. Your guilt? He stepped back a little. This is getting serious, she nodded. I know. That's why I came to find you. They went to the observation room, empty again, as it often was. Outside, a field of colorful gas clouds drifted. Slowly. Cole sat on one bench, and Soraya sat across from him. I didn't mean to scare you, she said, but I needed to be honest. I appreciate it, Cole replied. But we need to understand what's happening. This could be dangerous for both of us. Soraya looked down. I've been trying to limit what I take in, to block it. But your mind is loud, full of pictures, sounds, stories, and the stronger your emotion, the harder it is for me to resist. Cole thought for a moment. You said you crave it. What do you mean? She glanced at him with a soft smile. Your memories are so full of flavor, color, feeling. We Thalrine don't dream like you do. We don't imagine in such detail. It's like tasting the universe through your thoughts. Cole rubbed the back of his neck. So even something small, like thinking about food. Yes, she said. Last night you imagined biting into something warm and sweet? I've never tasted anything like it. I couldn't stop thinking about it all night. Cole's face turned red. I was thinking about pie. Soraya laughed quietly. Whatever it was wonderful. For a few minutes, they sat in silence. Then Cole said, We need rules. Soraya raised her brow. Rules? Yes, if we're connected like this, I need to be careful about what I think. And maybe you can practice blocking it out. Soraya nodded slowly. I'll try, but it's not easy. Your imagination pulls me in. It's like a current in deep water. We'll figure it out, Cole said, together. The next few days, they worked on it. Cole kept a journal. He wrote down his thoughts instead of thinking them out loud in his mind. It helped him stay calm. When he needed to imagine something, he warned Soraya ahead of time so she could prepare. They called it quiet time. Sometimes they sat together and Cole would describe something out loud instead of imagining it directly. Like a mountain, trail, or waves hitting a beach, or the laughter of his little sister back on Earth. Soraya listened with full focus. Sometimes she smiled. Sometimes tears formed in her eyes. Your world is so full, she whispered one day. Then came the test. Small asteroid passed close to the ship. It had strange energy readings and command ordered a full scan. The crew had to run simulations to prepare for possible dangers. Cole and Soraya were placed on the same team, working late into the night. During one long session, Cole grew tired. His mind drifted. He imagined being home, sitting on a warm couch, the smell of fresh coffee. A quiet Sunday morning. And across the room, Soraya gasped. She stood up quickly and backed away. Soraya? Cole called out. Her hands trembled. I was there, she whispered. I felt the cushion under me. I smelled the drink. I heard a bird outside your window. It wasn't just emotion. It was presence. Cole rushed over. Are you okay? She nodded slowly. Yes. But the link is getting stronger. They reported the incident to Dr. Kelvin after many scans and tests. The doctor came back with a serious face. We don't fully understand it, he said. Your brain patterns are slightly changed, and hers are reacting to yours like they're echoing, almost syncing. This isn't normal psychic response. It's something new. Can it be reversed? Cole asked. Maybe. Maybe not, the doctor said. But if it continues, the bond could grow stronger. Your thoughts might affect her even more deeply. Cole looked at Seraya. She looked back with calm eyes. We'll manage, she said. We'll find balance, Cole nodded. We'll try. Each day that passed, the bond between Cole and Seraya grew deeper. Even without speaking, she could feel his thoughts. When he was curious, she became alert. When he felt cold, she pulled her jacket closer. Sometimes she even repeated words. He had only thought in his mind. They trained together in the simulation room to test their control. Cole would think of a scenario and Seraya would try to block it out. Sometimes she succeeded. Sometimes she did in single quotes. Once, Cole imagined running through a forest trail. The smell of pine, the crunch of leaves underfoot, the rush of wind. Seraya stumbled, her breathing fast. It felt like I was running with you, she said afterward. I even felt the wind, Cole tried to stay calm. You need to learn to shut it off when you want. Seraya looked at him with tired eyes. I'm trying, but the feelings are so full. They're stronger than anything I've ever known. Cole began to worry. The link wasn't fading, it was growing. Even when you try. Ed not to think about anything, stray memories would pull her in. He couldn't stop dreaming either. And every night, Seraya would wake up feeling what he felt. One night, she knocked on Cole's door. He opened it, surprised. Everything okay? She looked shaken. You were remembering something painful. A fire and screaming. Cole's heart dropped. It was a memory from my old job. A ship explosion. I lost someone that day. Seraya stepped back, rubbing her arms. I felt it, every part of it. I cried. I didn't know why until... Now, he nodded. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to share that. It's not your fault, she said softly, but it's hard. Your pain becomes mine. I want to help, but I don't know how. The next day, they met with Dr. Kelvin again. There may be a reason the bond is growing, the doctor explained. Your minds are adapting. Her brain is learning how to accept your thoughts faster. It's like her mind is tuning itself too? Yours. Can it stop? Cole asked. We can try a mental barrier technique, the doctor said, but it takes time and practice. And both of you have to agree. They agreed. Under the guidance of the doctor, they began new sessions. Cole learned to quiet his imagination, to picture still water, empty rooms, calm skies. Seraya learned to focus her senses inward, to tell which feelings were hers and which were his. Some days were harder than others. During one session, Cole thought of a song his mother used to sing, the sound, the warmth, the feeling of being safe. Seraya couldn't hold it back. She closed her eyes, tears falling down her cheeks. It's beautiful, she whispered. It makes me feel like I belong. Cole felt something shift inside him. This wasn't just about controlling thoughts anymore. It was about connection, trust, understanding. But others on the ship began to notice. Some crew members whispered in the halls. Others looked at them with concern. A few thought the bond was unnatural, risky, maybe even dangerous. During a meeting, the ship's commander, Captain Arlen, called Cole and Seraya in. We're proud of your work, the captain said, but this link of yours, it's starting to raise questions. What happens if you lose control during a mission? What if a critical system fails because of a shared vision or memory? Cole stood straight. We're working on it. We've already made progress, Seraya added. We are learning balance. But if the bond can be understood, it could help both our species. Maybe even more, the captain nodded slowly. Until we're sure, I'm placing you both on restricted duty. You'll still work, but only under supervision. We can't take chances. They accepted the decision, but the message was clear, even. If their bond was amazing, others feared it. Back in the observation room, Cole stared out into space, deep in thought. Seraya sat beside him, quiet. Do you regret it? She asked. He shook his head. No. I've never connected with anyone like this before. It's strange, but it feels real. It feels right, she looked at him, eyes soft. I feel the same. But what if the bond never stops growing? What if... One day, we can't tell where you end and I begin. Cole turned to her. Then we'll build something stronger. Not walls, but bridges. If we understand each other this well, maybe that's not a weakness. Maybe it's a gift. Soraya smiled. Your imagination gives me life, Cole. I just hope one day I can return something as beautiful. And for the first time, Cole imagined a future not just for himself, but for both of them. The days under restricted duty felt different for Cole and Soraya. They weren't allowed in the main engine room anymore. Instead, they worked in a quiet lab near the back of the ship, helping with small system tests and analyzing sensor data. It was peaceful, but both of them knew it was just a way to keep them out of the spotlight. Some of the crew still treated them kindly, but others avoided them. Whispers grew louder. Cole could feel the distance forming. He didn't blame anyone. It was strange what had happened between him and Soraya. But that didn't make it wrong, Soraya said little during work hours. She focused on calming her mind. Dr. Kelvin had taught her new breathing methods and memory blocks. Cole also practiced keeping his thoughts neutral, no strong images, no old memories, no wild ideas. It helped. Most days, the connection stayed quiet, but one evening, everything changed. A strange signal came from a nearby sector far beyond known space. It pulsed like a heartbeat, steady and unnatural. The command crew suspected a distress call, but its pattern didn't match any human or Thowring code. A decision was made to investigate. The Unity 7 approached the signal's source slowly. Sensors showed an asteroid field ahead, thick with debris and radiation. Strange energy swirled around the rocks, bending light like a mirror. It was dangerous. We need to send a small drone through first, Captain Arlen said. If we go in blind, we could lose the whole ship. Cole and Soraya sat silently in the back of the control room, watching the readings appear on the main screen. Suddenly, Cole's head pulsed with pressure. His vision blurred. A strong image entered his mind, flashing red lights, heavy gravity, walls closing in. His heart raced. Serya gasped beside him. Cole? The captain asked sharply. Serya held her head. Something's inside his mind. I feel it too. It's not coming from him. It's external. The crew looked confused. Explain, Captain Arlen said. Cole stood up, breathing hard. I think the signal, it's not just a message. It's a kind of mental echo. Maybe from a machine or a creature. But it's affecting us through the bond, Soraya nodded. We're linked, and something is pushing through. We don't know what it wants, but it's trying to get in. The captain gave orders fast. Pull back the ship, increase shielding, and keep Cole and Soraya under observation. They were moved to the medbay, placed under light sedation to calm the effects. But even while resting, Cole's imagination filled with strange images, endless tunnels, sharp sounds. Cold winds. Serya described the same visions, even though she wasn't dreaming. It's trying to show us something, she said. Something lost, something broken. Dr. Kelvin grew worried. This signal might be ancient, maybe a leftover memory from a long-dead civilization, but it's waking now because of your link. We have to go back, Cole said firmly. If we can feel it, maybe we can understand it. No one else can. The captain refused at first, calling it a risk, but then something unexpected happened. One of the drones sent into the asteroid field sent back a visual, a large structure hidden deep within the rocks. Not metal, not stone, something organic, alive yet still, like a massive eye, closed for ages. This might be the source, the captain said. But if we approach carelessly, it could react. Cole stepped forward. Let me and Soraya try. Not physically, but through the bond. If we focus on the signal, we might understand it without triggering a defense. The room went silent. Finally, the captain agreed. They were sent back to the observation room. Lights dimmed. Sound was muted. Soraya reached out and held Cole's hands, grounding herself. Are you ready? She whispered. Cole nodded. Let's begin. He closed his eyes, opened his mind. Let the signal come in, and this time he didn't resist. Memories not his rushed in. Flashes of another world, quiet and blue. Tall beings with long limbs, voices that hummed like music. A disaster. Fire in the sky. A last attempt to preserve thought, feeling, identity. The source wasn't a weapon, it was a message. A cry for connection. Sera held on tight, tears on her face. She saw it too. They both did. After an hour, they woke, tired but clear. It's not dangerous, Soraya said. It's lonely. Cole nodded. It doesn't want to hurt anyone. It wants to be remembered. They passed the message to the captain. A new decision was made to mark the area as a memory zone. Not to be destroyed or disturbed, but to be studied, respected. Left in peace, the bond had allowed Cole and Soraya to hear what others said, OULDN single quotes D, and for the first time, the crew looked at them not with fear, but with respect. After the encounter with the hidden memory structure, everything changed. Cole and Soraya were no longer treated as a risk. Instead, they became something more, guides between minds. Proof that thought itself could reach beyond species. Beyond time, the crew now greeted them with friendly nods and quiet respect. Some even asked Cole about his memories, curious how his imagination could carry such strong emotion. Others asked Soraya what it felt like to live someone else's dreams. She answered carefully, not giving away too much. Though things seemed better, the bond was still growing. Faster now, stronger. Cole noticed it when he woke up from a light sleep and found Soraya already outside his door, holding her head. You dreamed of falling, she said, her voice shaking. I felt your heart drop. I couldn't breathe for a second. He nodded. I wasn't even deep asleep, just remembering a skydiving lesson. Soraya gave a small smile. Even your quiet thoughts are loud now. They went to Dr. Kelvin again. He ran more scans and shook his head slowly. Your neural patterns are syncing more than ever, he said. This is no longer just a bond, it's a merge. I think the connection is learning on its own, adapting, and it might not stop. Is it dangerous? Cole asked. Not yet, the doctor replied. But you might begin to feel what she feels too? It could go both ways. Cole looked at Soraya. You mean I could experience her thoughts too? Yes, Dr. Kelvin said. Emotions, images, memories, maybe even instincts. Cole and Soraya were silent for a long time. Later they walked through the garden dome together. The artificial plants glowed softly, and fake wind passed through the leaves, creating a peaceful sound. Soraya picked a leaf and studied it. What if you start feeling things from me that confuse you? Cole shrugged. Then I'll ask. Like, you always do. She looked at him. I've carried your thoughts for weeks, Cole. Some were happy, others were heavy, but all of them made me feel more alive. I don't want to lose that. He smiled. Me neither. Then it happened. An emergency alarm shook the ship. Red lights flashed. The voice of Captain Arlen echoed. Through the halls, all hands, prepare for possible collision. Unknown object approaching. Estimated contact, 7 minutes. Cole and Soraya ran to the bridge. On the main screen, a strange object was speeding toward them. Not a ship, not a rock, something else. Fast, shapeless, shifting in form. It's ignoring all signals, the captain said. We tried redirecting, but it's locked onto us. Cole stared at it, mind racing. What if it's attracted to thought? Soraya's eyes widened, like the memory structure. But this one isn't calm. Cole turned to the captain. We'll try something. He and Soraya ran to the quiet room near the sensor station. They sat across from each other, eyes closed, hands together. Focus, Cole said. I'll think. You listen. Let's show it peace. He began to imagine calmness. A quiet lake. Soft music. A child's laughter. Open fields of flowers. The warmth of sunlight on skin. Sera concentrated. Holding the image steady, but the object came closer. Then Cole's thoughts changed. Not by accident, but because he wanted to protect her. He imagined strength, old warships, shields rising. Fire not to destroy, but to defend. Standing firm against chaos. Sera gasped. I feel it. You're building a wall in your mind. Yes, Cole whispered, not to keep you out, to keep it out. Outside, sensors showed the object slowing. Its shape flickered. Its energy pulse faded. On the bridge, the crew watched in awe. "It's backing off," someone said. "It's turning away." The object vanished, like mist blown by the wind. Inside the quiet room, Cole opened his eyes slowly. Soraya was breathing hard, eyes wet. "You didn't just imagine peace," she said. "You imagined protecting peace?" It felt like a shield made of will. "I wanted to keep you safe," Cole said simply. She touched her forehead to his. "And you did." Later the captain met with them. "Whatever you did," he said, "it worked. That thing could have crushed us, but it left. Because of your bond." Cole and Soraya were no longer just crew members. They were now seen as guardians, ones who could feel, understand, and shape the invisible forces no machine could touch. The bond had become more than just a link. It had become a bridge between fear and hope. The ship Unity 7 returned to normal speed, far away from the unknown object. Repairs were light, damage was minimal, but something had changed. Not just outside the ship, but inside Cole, and Seraya. Cole could feel a shift in his mind. Sometimes when he focused, he didn't just sense his own emotions, he felt hers too. Soft, gentle feelings that weren't his. Sometimes strong, sometimes small, curiosity, comfort, even the sadness she tried to hide. And Soraya, she felt stronger now. Not just through the bond, but in her own way. She smiled more. She walked with calm steps. Something about sharing? Cole's world had given her a deeper sense of herself. They sat together in the garden dome one evening, the stars beyond the glass walls shining bright. Cole held a small tablet, sketching shapes with his finger. "What are you drawing?" Soraya asked. "Something I saw in a dream," he said. "A place from Earth, a mix of city and nature." "My own version," Soraya looked at it. "I saw it last night, when you dreamed," he smiled. "You were there, weren't you?" She nodded. "Yes, but not just watching. I felt like I belonged." Cole paused. "Do you ever wonder if this will end?" "The bond?" she asked. "Yes." She looked up. "I used to fear it might. Now I fear what would happen if it did." Cole nodded. "Same here." Before they could say more, the door opened. Captain Arlen entered, along with Dr. Kelvin. "We need your help," the captain said. Voice serious. Cole stood up. "What's wrong?" "We received a new message from the Alliance," the captain explained. Another ship, the Orion, picked up a strange signal near the edge of the Ranith sector. They followed it and vanished. No distress call. "No sensor data?" "Gone," Soraya stood. "And you think it's like the last one?" "Yeah," Kelvin nodded. "Possibly worse. They want you two to go with the recovery team. Not just as engineers, but as empathic support." Cole felt a chill. "You mean use the bond again?" "Yes," the captain said. "You're the only ones who can make contact without triggering defense systems, or worse." They both agreed. A smaller vessel was prepared. Cole, Soraya, and a team of 5 traveled through warped space toward the last known location of the missing ship. The Ranith sector was cold and dark. No stars nearby, no signs of life. Just a faint signal pulsing slowly, calling out. They reached it after 2 days. The Orion was floating, untouched but empty, no lights. No signs of battle. No voices on any channel. Soraya closed her eyes. "Something's here, watching." Cole looked at her. "Are you okay?" "Yes," she said, "but it's close." They entered the ship. Inside, everything was still. The crew's things were left behind: open books, mugs, data tablets. They had just vanished mid-thought. Cole led the way to the command center. Soraya followed closely, feeling every step as if she were walking in someone else's memory. Suddenly she froze. "Here. This is where it happened." Cole looked around. "What do you feel?" Soraya knelt on the floor, placing her hand on the metal surface. It wasn't an attack. It was a pull. Something reached into their minds, and they followed it. "Followed?" Cole asked. She nodded, not with fear, with wonder. He knelt beside her. "Can we contact it?" She took a deep breath. "Maybe together." They sat down, side by side, closed their eyes. and opened the bond. Images filled their thoughts, not sharp, not painful. Soft pictures, colors, songs with no words. Doors that opened into light. Feelings of peace and endless space. Cole realized the crew had joined something greater, something vast. Not physical, a kind of shared thought network, not death, not disappearance. A different form of life. They became part of it. Cole whispered. Sera nodded. And now it wants us too. Cole held her hand tightly. No, not yet. We're not ready to let go of this life. A pause. Then the images faded. The bond returned to its normal state. Cole and Soraya opened their eyes. The lights on the Orion blinked once, then turned back on. Outside. The energy signal disappeared. They left the ship quickly and returned to Unity 7 with the news. The Alliance marked the Ranith sector as a place of deep memory, not to be feared, but to be approached with care. Back on the ship, Soraya rested her head on Cole's shoulder. We've seen more than we ever imagined, she said, and we still have more to discover. Cole replied, the bond hadn't just changed them. It had prepared them for something far bigger. Something that was still waiting out there. The return to Unity 7 felt different this time. Cole and Soraya were no longer just part of a mission. They were now known across the Alliance as the two who touched something beyond words. The ones who understood what no one else could feel. Their story traveled from ship to ship, from base to base. Some called it a gift, others called it a mystery. But all knew it was real. Cole didn't care about fame. He just wanted answers. He spent hours in the quiet room, sketching what he had seen inside the Orion. Flowing shapes, glowing lines, soft light. A world made of thought. Soraya sat beside him often, watching silently. Do you miss it? She asked one evening. Cole nodded. A little. It was peaceful, too peaceful. Like falling asleep and never waking up. She tilted her head. Maybe that's how they wanted it to feel. He looked at her. Do you ever think we were chosen? Maybe not chosen, she said, but ready. Cole thought about that. Not long ago, he was just a quiet engineer. And Soraya, a calm observer. Now they were something more. Something in between human and Thaurine. In between minds and memories. Captain Arlen called them to the bridge a few days later. We've received a message, he said, from the Central Alliance Council. They're forming a new division. One focused on emotional and psychic contact. They want you two to lead the first team. Soraya raised her brow. Us? Yes, the captain said. Your bond isn't just a rare case anymore. It may be the key to peaceful exploration. Your imagination, your connection, Soraya make you perfect for the job? Cole looked at her. She looked back. Both of them smiled. We accept, they said together. Training for the new division began quickly. They were sent to the Alliance homeworld for study, scans, and teaching. Scientists observed their bond, trying to understand it. Others tried to copy it, but none could. There was something special in the way it had formed. Not just from the accident, but from trust. Cole began teaching young officers how to control thoughts during exploration. How imagination could calm fear or guide machines. Soraya taught them how to feel without losing their center. How to sense others without becoming them. Every day, Cole and Soraya grew closer. The bond was no longer just a link of minds. It was a bridge of hearts. They learned to speak without words, to act in perfect rhythm. During one mission, they helped calm a panicked crew by projecting a memory of Homa sunset on Earth, waves crashing on the shore. Everyone felt it, even those without psychic ability. It brought peace to all. One night, Cole stood alone in a garden on the training base, looking up at the stars. Soraya walked up behind him. Thinking again? Always, he said with a smile. I was imagining something. What? Our future. She stood beside him. What did you see? A small ship, he said. Just us. Traveling across the unknown. Not to fight. Not to collect, just to listen, to feel. She closed her eyes. I see it too. He turned to her. You're not just part of my mind anymore, Soraya. You're part of my life. She placed her hand over his. And you're part of mine. Even when you're silent, I feel you. Your thoughts echo like music, he laughed softly. Do they? Sound good? Sometimes, she said playfully. Sometimes they're messy, but they're always warm. They stood like that for a while, quiet and calm. The stars above didn't speak, but somehow they both felt heard. Months later, their new ship was launched, small, fast, and built for deep listening, no weapons. Just tools for peace. It was called the Horizon Whisper. Cole and Soraya stood at its entrance, ready to begin. As they stepped inside, Cole imagined an open sky. Soraya smiled before he said a word. Yes, she whispered. I see it. They weren't just explorers anymore. They were something new. Two minds, one dream. And as their ship vanished into the stars, the bond between them pulsed gently, alive, strong, and still growing.